All of us are on devices a lot more than we've ever been. Devices and screens. And it's exhausting and stressful to be on these devices and screens all day long. It gets weary, it's tiring on the body and it's tiring on the mind. We're learning how to be in relationship with these screens. And we're learning how to take care of ourselves as we learn this new skill, because it is a new skill. We're discerning how much of this kind of interface do we want. We're thinking about how many consecutive hours we're on this device. And, we're thinking also about the content, is it meaningful, whatever it is we're tuning into, how useful is it? But then there's also the considering of the body, the wear and tear on the body and the mind. Wear and tear on certain body parts more than others, like, for example, the eyes. The eyes are getting a lot of use right now, more than usual. So I'd like to focus on them this morning, give them a little extra attention, and ask us to think about how much we're asking of them right now as sense organs, as body parts. It's intense. We're looking at artificial light all day long. We're trying to adapt to taking in unnatural light. And that's a lot of work. That's really stressful, actually, on the eyes themselves and on the mind that's trying to kind of interpret the sensory data. But it's also, we have a cultural habit here in the West of sort of overusing our eyes, reaching out for objects and grabbing the object with our eyes in order to see it. There was a study done some years ago that was conducted where folks from the West were asked to look at art paintings. And folks from the East Asian countries were also asked to look at the same art paintings. And the people in the West tended to use the central portion of their vision. And they moved their eyes around the painting from object to object to object, stitching the frame together. Whereas folks who were from the East Asian countries, they tended to use more of the whole of their eye, the whole of their visual field in order to receive the sensory impression. And so they noticed more of like swaths of color and swaths of light and these sort of emotional impressions, one could say, or just an impression of mood. And what they found is that, this idea of using the eyes in this way, the central portion of your vision, as we do in the West, was much more stressful. It was more work. And it is work for us to learn how to relax our gaze, how to, come out of the grip of the visual field and learn how to settle back and receive the visual cues, because we can do that too. We don't have to work at seeing. Visual cues actually come to us. And we can see this for ourselves. We can practice this even right now. We're all sitting here, you're all looking at me, and I'd like you to just right now focus your eyes on me. And get a fix on that, on the reaching, the grabbing, the fixing on to me. And now notice Bill. Reach out and notice that. You might even notice that the body wants to even lean a little forward sometimes. Now, sense both of us, Bill and Susan, sitting here. Sense the reaching for that, the putting the two of them together and holding them together. Now take a breath. Nice big inhalation, nice big exhalation. And just gently shift and soften the focus. Maybe settle back a little bit, settle down, feel the back of the body resting against the chair or cushion, and feel the weight sinking down. And soften the gaze and just see the whole of the frame. See the whole of the frame, the brightness, and how you can sense that I'm talking, but there's more of just a softer view. A view that's more of the panoramic, or seeing as if we're looking from a vista, looking out. And notice for yourself when you go back and do a fixation, fixate on me again. Notice what is added to that. Is there anything useful that's added to that when you bring that little extra work? For me, what I notice is that stress is what's added. I get tired. I can feel my eyes kind of reaching, trying to, grab it. And then check in and see what is it like when I take a breath and settle back and settle down. And I just soften the gaze and look at this panel of, I don't know, a bunch of you looking back at me, receiving all of that information. So play, my encouragement would be that you begin to play with that, play with the experience or noticing the reaching out, the leaning, the grabbing, like the eyes are glued to something. And then take a breath, even close the eyes for a moment. Settle back in, readjust, and as if the eyes were arising out of the base of the body, as if the eyes originated from the feet. Now we're sitting here from that base of the body and soft gaze looking out. Soft gaze.